Title: Single dad got fired for being late after helping a pregnant woman. She owned the entire company. Sometimes, life tests us in moments so small they feel ordinary. A late morning. A missed bus. A stranger in need. And in those moments, one choice can quietly change everything. This is one of those stories. A story about a single dad, a simple act of kindness, and a truth we often forget, that doing the right thing can come back to us in ways we never imagine. Before we begin, if stories like this move you, inspire you, or remind you of the good still left in the world, please take a moment to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Heartfelt Moments, where real emotions and powerful lessons come together. Now, let's begin. Mark Wilson was not a man with much margin for error. Every morning ran on a tight schedule, because every minute mattered. He was 34 years old, a single father to an 8-year-old daughter named Lily, and the sole provider in their small apartment just outside Columbus, Ohio. Mark's morning started before sunrise. He packed Lily's lunch, double-checked her homework, tied her shoelaces, and walked her to the neighbor's apartment before rushing off to work. The neighbor, Mrs. Alvarez, watched Lily until school started. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. Barely. Mark worked as a floor supervisor at a large logistics company. The job wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills and had health insurance. His manager had one rule he repeated constantly: be on time. No excuses. Mark took that rule seriously. Being late wasn't an option. Being fired wasn't survivable. That Tuesday morning was already running behind. Lily had spilled juice on her homework. Mark had burned the toast. And traffic was heavier than usual. Still, he was on track to make it, until he saw her. At a bus stop near the freeway entrance, a young pregnant woman was sitting on the bench, clearly in distress. She was bent forward, breathing heavily, one hand gripping her stomach, the other holding a phone that looked like it had died. People walked past her. Cars rushed by. No one stopped. Mark slowed down. He told himself he didn't have time. He told himself someone else would help. He told himself being late today could cost him everything. But then he thought of Lily. He pulled over. The woman was shaking. She said her name was Sarah. She was 7 months pregnant. She felt dizzy, scared, and her ride had canceled last minute. Mark offered her water, helped her into his car, and drove her to the nearest urgent care clinic. The whole time, his eyes kept darting to the clock. By the time Mark dropped Sarah off and made sure she was safely inside, he knew the truth. He was going to be late. Very late. When Mark finally arrived at work, it was 27 minutes past his shift start. His manager didn't let him explain. Company policy, he said flatly. We talked about this, Mark. Mark tried to speak. Tried to explain about the pregnant woman. About the bus stop. About the clinic. It didn't matter. By noon, Mark was packing his things into a cardboard box, his stomach twisted with fear. He wasn't angry. He was terrified. How would he pay rent? How would he tell Lily? How would he explain that doing the right thing had cost them everything? He drove home in silence. That evening, Lily noticed right away. Daddy, she said softly, why are you home early? Mark sat beside her and told her the truth, in the gentlest way he could. Lily listened quietly. When he finished, she wrapped her arms around him. You did the right thing, she said. Mark smiled, even though his chest hurt. The next morning, Mark's phone rang. It was a number he didn't recognize. A calm, professional voice asked if he was Mark Wilson. Then the woman said something that made him sit down. My name is Sarah Bennett, she said. You helped me yesterday. I'm calling because I own the company you work for. Mark thought it was a prank. It wasn't. Sarah explained everything. She had recently taken over the company after her father's retirement. She'd been quietly observing operations, not announcing herself. Yesterday, she'd planned to take the bus to a site visit when her ride fell through. She told him how scared she had been. How no one stopped. How his kindness had stayed with her all night. "I reviewed your termination," she said. "And I want you to come in today." Mark didn't know what to expect. When he arrived, he wasn't taken to the floor. He was taken to the executive conference room. Sarah was there. She didn't yell. She didn't blame. She listened. Then she said something Mark would never forget. "If our company punishes kindness," she said, "then our company is broken." Mark wasn't just rehired. He was promoted. His manager was retrained. And a new policy was announced company-wide, one that recognized compassion, emergencies, and human judgment. But the moment that mattered most came later that night. Mark came home to Lily with takeout pizza and a smile she hadn't seen in days. He told her everything. She beamed. "I told you," she said. "Kindness always comes back." Mark still thinks about that bus stop. About how close he came to driving away. About how easy it is to believe we don't have time to care. But he knows now that kindness doesn't always come back as a reward. Sometimes it comes back as peace. Sometimes as pride. Sometimes simply as knowing you didn't look away. And sometimes, just sometimes, it comes back as a second chance. So if you ever find yourself running late, stressed, or afraid of what you might lose by helping someone else, remember this story. Because kindness may slow your day, but it can change your life. Thank you for watching Heartfelt Moments. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness still matters. And maybe today, be the person who stops,